So this is from A to Z, X from A to Z in Y heartbeats, and I start at 6:25 and I checked my heartbeat. So today I'm going to speak about expansion from A to Z, from my own experience. And first of all, I want to say that mostly this word is connected with psychoactive substances for me. But as psychedelic substances are the most strong expansion tools that I know, but it's definitely not the only one expansion tools, because everything that is new and gives new experience and new perception, is expansion for me. So expansion can be from new people, new movie, new idea, new activity, new job, new place for living, new person, and so on. And sometimes it's pretty small expansion that doesn't really influence something. And sometimes it's really huge expansion. And when I speak about expansion in this video, I mean that this expansion became life-changing. Expansion means life-changing change. Something that split your life in two parts, before and after. And you can feel that old version of yourself died and you're reborn in a new life and in a new manner and something like that. So for me, expansion is one of the aims of living and one of the source of life energy. And expansion in a right direction is a main goal in my life. And what is right direction? Speaking about expansion, I recognize two opportunities to be true self and to be not true self. And being true self means staying completely in a flow. Being true self means that I don't have to accommodate myself to anything. I don't have to make myself doing something, but not because because that's my choice, but because I'm made to. Being not true self is being victim of someone's aggression, and that's how I explain that for myself. So if I want to go with the flow, I have to ask myself, what gives me pleasure today? What is important for me? What is not important? What is senseless? What is something that needs to be cut off my life? And doing these small tiny improvements every day, but it's a regular job. That's what life means for me. Just doing every day small improvements to make my life closer to 100% flow in pleasure. Sober flow. But it's regular things, and sometimes we have different experience. This experience brings us to completely different place. So mostly point A and point B are pretty close during life, and sometimes in pretty short amount of time our perception changes dramatically. And this is what I call expansion, and the biggest expansion in my life I got from psychoactive substances and from other people. And next things are different countries. Like, let's start from this: different countries and different food and different art and different something. So when I see something very new for me that attracts my interest and starts train of thoughts in my head that leads me to something inside of me that I haven't seen before. That's the best thing. That's expansion. When I see something that stayed hidden for me before that. When I see something that I've seen before and I've understood before, but I got different angle, and this different angle changes situation upside down. That's expansion for me. And of course people can be role models for us, and some people, they can give me example. Like, I can see that if this person lives this way and capable of doing things, sometimes it's a signal for me that probably I can do the same. Because for me, in my experience, that's the best thing people can do. They can mirror me. So if I see someone doing something, it can inspire me to do the same thing or to do something else basing on my new knowledge and new experience. And this is great thing. This is improvement. This is a way of constant everyday improvement. And the only thing is I have to do it in the right direction, closer to my true self. And my true self is balanced self. It feels for me like a tunnel in time that I fly in. And while I'm inside of the borders of this tunnel, I don't meet so much resistance. I just flow. But once I'm moving out from this tunnel and going away from my true self to what I call not true self, I just start to feel resistance. And yeah, for me it's a main purpose in life, to go with the flow and have no when I say resistance, it's not about obstacles in my life. Of course I have obstacles. Of course I have some things that I have to solve, to find a way. But resistance for me is when I don't know what to do. Resistance to me is losing sense of myself, losing feelings about am I moving to right direction or no. And for me, this is for body to decide if it's right or wrong, because mind doesn't know that. Mind can have different and beautiful ideas, and it's wonderful tool, but how I measure if I live my life or someone else's life, someone who looks like me but is not really me, is my body feelings. Am I relaxed? Am I fully relaxed? Do I have fear in my body? Do I feel calmness during the day? Do I feel generally good? Like, it's not about something is really good, it's about good in general. And so this is the main goal for me. And speaking about expansion is help on the way back to state of being true self. When person experience losing true self, it feels like struggles. It just feels like more struggles in life. And if I struggle, I don't live right. For me, that's That's what I learned from my experience. If I have more struggles, it doesn't depend on facts of my life. It's my inner feeling of general amount of struggle. Today and now. Here and now. And on this way, sometimes I need expansion to see something that I hide from myself. Why did I do that? Sometimes I do that because of fear because I try to avoid something, and I start to lie myself. And what other reasons? Sometimes it's just time for me to get some new information. Sometimes it's about that on my growing path. Sometimes it's just first meeting with something, and sometimes it's just time for me to meet this expansion particle and get this new knowledge. Yeah, probably it's just two things that comes to my mind. I'm either never met this before, and in this case it's just new thing for me that I learn. And sometimes I know the truth, but some moment I decided to hide this truth from myself because I tried to... It's from... I always wish myself the best, and I just... sometimes I feel I'm too fragile for truth, and truth can ruin me. That's what I used to think and used to do, but for now I'm trying to move to another concept where I'm never fragile for truth. If it's truth and it already exists in my universe, or multiverse, probably in my universe. So I don't want to avoid it. I feel I'm strong enough to stand this thing. And in this situation, I'm open to those things that can give me expansion, such as new people, new country, new music, new art, new substances. And I take all the responsibility that this thing will change me, and it was for me to choose to go to this direction and to get this expansion and to get this new point of view, new perception. And the reason for yearning expansion, is feeling that you miss something. If I have this feeling, it means I need expansion. And expansion is just looking in any sort of mirror at myself. Expansion is looking in the mirror. and seeing what it says and accepting this as a new truth. And sometimes it's hard to see in that mirror, and it can lead to avoidance of expansion. But I believe that expansion is natural desire of every human being. Universe expands all the time, and people always expand. Every human being just constantly expanding. But what I'm saying is more radical expansion. Something that looks like a strong and immediate change of direction. So if I feel that I want to change something in my life, I just constantly ask for expansion, and right thing or person comes to my life and gives me this mirroring feedback. And for me, psychedelic trip is mirroring feedback. And if you want that feedback, you have to ask. You have to ask for mirroring feedback, for seeing something that is hidden for now, or seeing something that you keep in secret from yourself. For me, it sounds like a good intention to see lie to myself. And when I reveal lie to myself, it's the biggest expansion. And mostly it hurts. And after expansion happened in my life, it was pretty shocking experience. Mostly I was in shock after that, because I got some really new information and it changes a lot of things. And another idea that I want to say here is second main step after asking for expansion and having that expansion is implementing and integrating that expansion in a regular life. And mostly it needs either really good discipline or less discipline plus someone's help. Someone who can constantly work as a mirror. And for those of you who never tried psychedelics and doesn't really know what psychedelics are, it's for me, it's just from my own experience. I can say only how this works for me. It's removing all the barriers that I've created for myself, all the small routes and really wide roads that I've built in my head. And I've built these roads so my thoughts can move pretty fast without making measurements, without making decisions, so I can think fast. But thinking fast means that I don't let myself make conscious, aware choices, and I just make decisions basing how I made this thousand millionth time before, without even asking myself if I should do this somehow else. And in this perspective, psychedelics really gives awareness, because on psychedelics you can't think about anything as a usual thing. Everything is unusual, and if you ask yourself under the influence of the psychedelic substance, if you ask yourself if you look at something, if you ask yourself question, you will be able to see this the way you can't do in your regular state, the way you see it if it's the very first time you see this thing. So all parts of this thing is equal. Nothing is bad, nothing is good. So you can make a very new decision, unbiased decision. And this is for me very valuable things in psychedelics, and it's a very powerful tool, but I don't offer anyone to use this tool because it can be harmful, it can be dangerous. That's definitely true, and I've seen that with my own eyes, and it happened to my very close people. Because if you want to do that, you have to, first of all, learn about that. You have to know that. Second, you have to know why you're using that. Because this is a strong tool, and if you can avoid surgery and just do some physical exercises to fix your body problem, you don't do surgery. And for me, psychedelics is sort of surgery. Psychedelics is when other instruments, other tools didn't really work. So probably this is more or less everything I have for the moment about expansion. And yeah, probably it's around 2,100 heartbeats. Hug you, brothers and sisters.